4.3 is finally here. No longer is the Gladius the only ship we can rely on. Now we have more opportunities to use more of the lineup and find a ship that fits your playstyle. Today we're going to cover the S and A tier ships, and we're going to talk about their strengths and weaknesses so that you can find a ship that fits your style. We're also going to cover what excels in duels and excels in squadron fights. Make sure to check the timeline below so that you can check for chapters. And if you're interested in learning more about Star Citizen PvP, then make sure to check the description below and join us at the Discord. The Anvil Arrow has been tuned to be more nimble and more aggressive in its current flight model. While it has less shields than the Gladius, it now has the ability to close the gap and control the range better than the Gladius. This means it excels at kiting opponents or pushing close to opponents and maintaining a very tight orbit in a fast rate fight. Currently, while Panther repeaters are the go-to play, the MBD repeaters do seem to excel very well in the Arrow just because of this control of distance. This is going to appeal to you if you're someone that enjoys the glass cannon playstyle. Very fragile, but a lot of damage and a lot of ability to control the pace of the fight. This brings us to the Gladius, which now plays a little bit more like a medium fighter. For example, if you're fighting an Arrow, you really can't outmaneuver it, but you can keep it in the 300 to 400 meter range and try to aim trade it down. With that extra shield, it gives you more tank ability, giving you more versatility and more options when you face other ships. For example, right now the Arrow struggles against a good Hornet pilot because it only has that one shield, but the Gladius is still maneuverable enough and tanky enough to deal with the Hornet with greater ease. When it comes to squadrons, that extra shield also helps out. Because you're a little more tanky, you can get caught by surprise and still have a better chance of survival. Now, just because the Gladius has been slowed down does not mean it can't knife fight or maneuver in rate fights anymore. It still has that ability against other ships, but it's not quite as nimble as the Arrow. Now, if you want to win every single 1v1, as long as you're good enough, well, the Hawk is for you. The Hawk is absolutely insane right now. The meta right now is to remove 2 of the repeaters on the size 1 category and replace them with distortion repeaters. This means that as soon as you knock out the enemy's shield, hit them a couple times, and then throw an EMP, they will automatically shut off or at bare minimum lose weapon systems, so they will be unable to fight back. Now, because of the Hawk's size, its weakness is keeping it at range and kiting it. The only problem is that they've made the Hawk so fast and maneuverable that it's impossible to get away from it. Now, you can try to outrate the Hawk in the close quarter, but as long as the pilot knows what he's doing and he doesn't mess up, then it's pretty easy for the Hawk to just side strafe out of position and stay in the nose-to-nose trade. For now, don't expect anyone to fight you in free flight if you bring the Hawk, as it's kinda cheesy right now, but bringing it into squadrons also has its issues. This thing is insane for teamfights, but you have to be careful as teamfire will kick you out of the match. Obviously, this isn't a problem in the PU, but just something to keep in mind if you want to try it out. Next one is the Blade. A lot of us shy away from this craft because of its cockpit. It's quite hideous and it blocks a lot of things, and it kind of looks like you're wearing a gas mask the whole time. But this thing is pretty insane. It's about on par with the Gladius on maneuverability, and it has the DPS of basically a Hornet. If you bring this thing into squadron, it's an insane ganker. You can get in really quick, do a lot of damage, and get out. It's kind of the same playstyle as playing as a Hornet, but you're way more maneuverable, and your DPS is quite ridiculous for the size of the craft. Now, it's not as good at the longer ranges as the other light fighters because of its forced weapons velocity and the fact that it is a bigger target, but it is extremely maneuverable and can keep up with most fighters, making it very hard to deal with. This brings us to the new L21 Wolf. Currently, there's a bug with changing components on it, so for that reason, we have it in A tier. But once we're able to equip the proper gear on it, it is easily S tier. The maneuverability of this sits somewhere in between the Arrow and the Gladius, but more leaning towards the Arrow. It's very nimble and very fast. If you play it more like an interceptor, it does exceptionally well. It has great poke damage with the ballistics and can close and stay close once you want to finish off a target. When we cover squadrons in this thing, you want to play it kind of for yourself. You're not really trying to duel people, you're more of a finisher. Anytime you see someone stripping an opponent's shield, that's your cue to come in and finish the target. Because this thing is so fast and maneuverable, it's also a great counter to the current interceptors. Because interceptors are fragile, the ballistic penetration makes it very ideal in finishing and stopping interceptors from being useful. This is a great ship if you like the interceptor role, but want more dual capability that the interceptors lack. Now, an old-time favorite of mine, the Sabre. Currently, this thing is amazing at dueling. It's probably the best one, to be honest. The reason for this is it's fast enough to keep up with most light fighters and definitely has enough turn rate to keep light fighters in front of it. While you can get close to the Sabre and try to rate lock it, it has enough power to get out of the rate, and with enough nose speed to keep you pointed right in front of it. its 4 weapons also make quick work of most light fighters. Now, while it is exceptional at duels, it kind of falls behind in squadrons. The reason for this, while it is a very thin target, it's very large on the pancake side of things, meaning if you're fighting multiple opponents, it's easier for people not in front of you to get shots to land on the Sabre. And where the Sabre fails, the Hornet prevails. The Hornet is very comparable to the Sabre in a lot of ways. It has not quite as much maneuverability, so it struggles a little bit more to keep the light fighters in front of it, but it's still very capable in the right hands. It also has more firepower, so if you don't pay attention to it or it sneaks up on you, you get deleted quickly. When it comes to squadron is where this thing really shines. It is an assassin. Your goal is to not get caught, watch your team, come in and destroy something before it can even react. This is a great ship if you love blowing up things as fast as possible, though you have to be careful not to get caught, as once you're caught, it's hard to get away. To finish off our list for most competitive ships, we have the Buccaneer. Now, if you bring this into a duel, you're gonna lose, but bring this into squadron and that's where it shines. This is an interceptor through and through. It's fragile, but extremely quick and very powerful. Its job is to catch you when you're not really paying attention and apply as much damage as quickly as possible. The minute anything looks in your direction, your goal is to get out of there. Now, before we finish off, we have some honorable mentions. First, we're going to cover interceptors. Currently, interceptors are still very powerful, but because of the L21, they've kind of been brought down a little bit. Again, the L21's ballistics just allow it to pick apart those interceptors, and its fast speeds lets it keep up long enough to kill most of those interceptors. Then we have the snubs, like the Archimedes or the Fury. While they are still very good and are aggressive, they also fall apart because of the L21's introduction. Like I said, they're still very good, but they're not quite optimal. And on to some alien ships. The Talon, while still an incredible light fighter, because of its bigger size than the Gladius by a significant amount, it's easier to kite and deal with. If you want to continue this discussion, let's bring it down to the comments or come join the Discord where we have an active community of PvP pilots who love to share their knowledge with all of you. That's going to be it for this one, and as always guys, I'll catch you on the next one.